The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Savannah Humoller, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
And here we are inside the SWBC podcast studio on a beautiful Wednesday here at the Star in Frisco, the headquarters of the Dallas Cowboys. And this is Mick Shots. And Mickey's having a problem with his microphone right now.
There you go.
Oh,
See,
there we go. It helped.
Do the little hands there.
We're good.
Yeah.
And Mickey, of course, the man who wrote the book on this rivalry, Dallas versus Washington, and Commanders Week is officially underway, Mickey.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Move your microphone a little bit closer to your mouth.
I mean, now the mic's not even close.
Right. Just turn it up. Would you help him?
my old saying about Cowboys and Indians doesn't go over well.
No.
I would stay
go
away
there.
from that.
Yeah, let's not.
That was pretty good
Back when
26 years ago.
Okay, we're going to move forward 26
Right.
years. And Savannah, how are you doing on this beautiful Wednesday at noon?
I'm great, except
Good.
for the fact that last night both Mickey and I were at the Dallas Stars game and waited until the very end to see if the Stars would come back, and they didn't get the job done. So I think Mickey and I are a little tired today.
Oh, so it was not a victory.
No.
They scored a goal 11 seconds into the game.
Oh, wow.
Did not score again until there was
Who were they playing last night?
Montreal.
Montreal.
Oh, okay.
Are they
The
that good?
Canadians.
They're all right.
Yeah.
They're not great. They're like 500.
They're not as good as the Stars, so it should have been.
Yeah, but what have you done for us lately?
Well,
Is the NHL or what have you done for us lately league like the NFL
they
is?
waited till 4 minutes left when they pulled the goalie and had 6-on-5 for almost 5 minutes. They scored 2 goals and nearly tied it in the last seconds.
Okay, let's move on to Everson. Maybe we can get off hockey talk.
No, he's tired.
No. I got some.
I got something for Everson. I got something for Everson.
What you
It
got
may
for
be the
me?
same thing you got.
No. I'm gonna
How
go.
about that Gremlin women's basketball
That's what
team?
I was gonna say. I got it right here.
159 to 18.
Who did we beat?
You beat the College of Biblical Studies.
Yes.
Yeah, boy. Here we go.
And it was a rout of biblical proportions.
Wow.
159 to 18. Now you're getting
wow.
Gremlin
We
back
are
on
really,
the-
we are really like,
Hold
man,
on a
we need
second.
to.
Where is
What?
that school?
Who
It's
cares?
in Houston. I looked it up.
You looked it up.
Are they?
CBS. I
Did
thought
you
it
know
was.
about
I thought
this,
it was
Chris?
our company women's basketball team at CBS. So it's the College of Biblical Studies.
Did you know about this, Chris? Did you read about this?
No, but I'm about to go.
Oh, man.
Deep
my
dive.
boy Larry Lundy.
159 to 18.
My boy Larry Lundy sent this to me, and he said, "Man, they should have just played the Water Girls or something. Just come on, man.
Do you
Don't.
think they pressed the whole game?
I mean, did they have to?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, God, 159.
159 to 18.
Hey, but it's like one basketball player said, it's hard to score that many points. I don't care how sorry
Even
you
on
are.
air.
Right? They must have been on, right?
Their coach said we hadn't scored that many points in practice.
A lot of layups, I bet.
Yeah, but how many layups can you get in
If you
one
steal
game?
the ball 50 times.
159. Oh my goodness.
Are they in the same conference as Colorado School of the Mines?
I mean, this
What,
is like
the College of Biblical Studies.
Well, no,
Yeah.
this is when you make a joke and you say, they played the College of the Deaf and Blind or something. You know what I mean? Just that's what it.
The Little
Well,
Sisters of
I
the
will
Poor.
say that I did
Right,
look it up.
something like that,
I
man.
did look it up, and the College of Biblical Studies did lose to Houston Tillotson 106 to 19
Oh,
earlier
shit.
this season.
Golly,
so.
we must have been on.
Uh-huh.
We must have been on. Golly, man, that's crazy. I bet
So-
the coach played.
Yep. So there
Yes.
you go. That's our
There's
big news
Baylor
of the day.
basketball last night.
Say it again, there, Producer Supreme.
Said Baylor opened the Foster Pavilion last night.
Oh, that is a nice looking arena.
is,
I saw
man.
pictures of
Yeah,
it.
man.
Wow.
Did they
Very
christen
nice.
it with a win?
We did. We played Cornell.
which is the equivalent of the College of Biblical Studies.
It was 98 to 75. Yes.
Oh no, that's not the same.
No.
At least that's respectable.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so Mickey, we got
Yes.
some news breaking here at the Star in Frisco this morning.
Cowboys activating Simi Fehoko. No,
they
Junior
didn't.
Fehoko. Sorry,
Biliami Junior Fahoko.
Junior Fehoko.
On the defensive lineman, not the wide receiver.
Not the wide receiver.
To the
right.
53-man roster. He was out. His 21-day practice deal was up off the IR, so they moved him to the roster. And Deuce Vaughn has an ankle injury, and he's been moved to IR. So that's the one official
on one play.
one official thing that
He only played
they've
one
done.
play.
Right.
Well, that's why he
That's all
was
it
in there.
takes.
That's why he only played one, maybe.
Yeah, there you go. Very
wow.
good, Savannah.
Yeah.
Man, we got.
You forgot Here I go off on a tangent. The backup quarterback you guys had in the early 80s that they wanted to keep and get him on IR. And in the preseason game, they ran a play and told him to run towards the Cowboys sideline. And that was towards their cameras. And grab your hamstring before you go out of bounds, and so we can put you on IR and keep your rights. And he forgot to grab his hamstring.
Who told him to do that?
The coaches.
Of where?
The Cowboys.
The Cowboys wouldn't do something like that.
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
Come on. Who was that? Chad Hutchinson?
No, it was back in your
When
day.
you played.
That's what you guys.
When you played.
It's the second straight day we've mentioned Chad Hutchinson
I know,
on the
that was
show.
on purpose. And I'm not
Deuce
done
was
with
in for-
Hutchinson, by the way. You guys, I sent you guys some stuff, man.
Oh, that's right.
that's
We
There
got
were
to
some
that.
people that sent us stuff on
Yeah,
Twitter
Okay, good.
we need
about
to-
it.
Good.
We'll get to that
Good.
eventually.
Good.
Okay, remember that.
Good.
Put that in your hip pocket.
Man,
we'll
for
talk
real.
about
Got
it.
it.
You
real.
got
Up
it.
here.
Yeah.
That'll be Savannah's
Deuce
story there.
Deuce was in for 8 snaps in the game against
Okay.
Detroit. So what about this running back situation now? Because, of course, Rico Dowdle was inactive for that game because of an injury.
I
What's
believe
going on with Rico?
Mike said he's better.
Okay.
So I think they plan on him
And we got
being
Malik
back,
Davis still.
but he's out of elevations. So you would have to elevate him.
You would have to create a spot on the
Or you have to
53-man
wait
roster.
till the playoffs, right? Because I think you get extra elevations once you get to the playoffs.
So how does this go?
They
If-
reset in the playoffs.
If he's out of moves,
Yeah.
then they would have to expose him.
They have to put him on the 53.
Okay, I thought maybe they would have to
No,
put
no,
him out.
he's already.
But then you would, if you made a roster move with him, then he would be exposed
Gotcha.
after if you were taking him off the 53, but
Okay.
not putting him on.
He's already been exposed.
Yeah.
He's exposed right now.
Yeah.
I mean, any team could sign him right now if they wanted to.
Exactly. And nothing official yet on Lael Collins or Damian Wilson.
It's not official?
No,
All right, and
because they've got to make corresponding moves.
So here's a question for you. All right, you've got one of the main reasons that obviously you're bringing in Lyle Collins for a workout, and then Damian Wilson. It's the depth situation on the offensive line and at linebacker. Is there a concern now with Deuce going on IR at the running back position where you have a depth issue there, especially since Rico's been nursing an injury here the last month or so?
Well, you've got one open spot on the practice squad. You get 16, right? They're at 15. So they would have to make corresponding moves to let somebody go.
There's like 15 moves you can make there.
Right, yeah, exactly. Although,
There's spots on the practice squad. What I'm saying is, going forward,
Yes,
as we
I know
push
what
on
you're
into
saying.
the playoffs, okay, how fortified are they at the running back position in case you lost someone else to injury?
so there's a running back that's supposed to be out there. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. Has Zeke been released yet?
Somebody's been reported that hasn't been released, but is going to be released. Yeah,
There have been reports there is a running back, though, with the
I believe
Jets.
by the
Can we
name
say
of
his name?
Delvin Cook.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
Tom
been-
Pelissero reported that
Right.
he's on the outs,
So,
the Jets.
well, let me ask you this then. because this is what they'd have to decide. Would you put him on the 53 or would you put him on the practice squad? Because if the Cowboys think that much of him, 31 other teams might think something of him too.
When's the last time he played?
I had it right
I mean,
here.
that because if you bring him in and play him right away, then you'll
so
hope that
he
been carrying the ball a little bit.
He played. This has him having played December 17th against Miami. He had 1 carry for 4 yards. Against Houston the week before, 7 carries for 13 yards, and the week before that against Atlanta, 9 carries for 35 yards, and then 1 carry, 2 carries, 4 carries, 2, 2, 3, 6, 5, 8, 4, and a season high of 13 in the season opener. So they didn't really use him.
Well, that situation got kind of crazy from the beginning, right, with the Jets.
Yeah.
A-Rod went down, and it affected everything.
But you thought they would maybe run the ball a little bit more.
Well, they did. Just use another running back.
Bryce Hall, is that the guy's name?
Reese or Brees.
Reese, what is his name?
Breesy Hall.
Brees Hall.
Something Brees Hall.
So, yeah, if anything else, he's got fresh legs. And we'll see. But again, somebody else might be more interested in putting him on their 53, and then you got to decide, do you want to put him on the 53 and pay some money? I'm guessing he's going to clear waivers.
Okay. But that move has not been made yet, although the NFL Network is reporting they have mutually agreed to part ways, according to Cook's agent.
And then the other moves, like I said, they haven't officially done that yet. So there's some moving parts there. And as Mike McCarthy answered the questions in the press conference about both guys, he said, I'll address that tomorrow.
So what position group are you, in terms of depth in the injury situation, what position group are you most concerned with right now on this Cowboys team?
That's easy.
Go ahead.
O-line.
Yeah, that's what
I'm
I was
with
going
you.
to say.
That's it.
I'm with you.
Because while it seems like there's some optimism that Tyler Smith can play, say he can't, and then Bass is probably your starter at left guard, but then what are you doing after that? Chuma?
And we're not making a whole bunch of moves to cover one position.
Yeah.
That's not that. We did that last year.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
So I think the idea with La'el Collins is to have somebody that at least knows what he's doing. Now, I don't know if he can do it. I mean, you've got to remember, I know everybody's getting excited about it, but there's a reason why the Cowboys let him go. Terrence Steele outplayed him. And they're paying $8 million in dead money this year for that move.
And would they be looking at Collins as a depth at tackle or guard?
Well, he played a little guard before he got moved out to tackle, but it's been a while.
Well, let's look at it like this from an optimistic standpoint. Just because he got beat out by Steele, that still doesn't mean he's not good.
Well,
he just got beat out by a better player.
He didn't play very well either, in my opinion.
Well, I think he was having ongoing injury issues himself, and now he hadn't played all season, and so
because he was coming off an ACL injury,
and he's had hip issues earlier in his career.
That's why he missed the 2020 season.
So it's more. I look at it. It's more of a fortify the position with someone who has done it before. You get him on at least on the practice squad or whatever, and you get him in and see if he can be in shape to come in an emergency if you need him in the playoffs.
I mean, think about it this way: if you were looking for somebody, what's the alternative? Somebody that is still out there that hasn't played all season long, that might still be a free agent. People don't cut even average offensive linemen. Everybody's
because
looking,
they're so valuable right now,
and they're scarce. They're just not out there. So at least the guy knows where to go in the locker room, to where he eats, and maybe he knows the plays a little bit too. So it to me, it doesn't hurt anything, especially if you're putting him on the practice squad. And, you can look at the practice squad. I keep picking on Buddy Johnson, but I didn't.
You pick on a lot of people.
I just didn't know who else the linebackers
so
were.
So, little guy, you talk a lot of trash.
So, if we're talking about Buddy Johnson, and then if there was the addition of Damian Wilson, what are your thoughts in comparison to the two?
I mean, there's another guy on the practice squad named Darrell Johnson. He's a defensive end. Anybody know his work? The only other guy that I thought I knew was Tyron Billy Johnson, who
he's the wide receiver.
Would you like to know about Darrell Johnson?
Yes.
Out of Liberty, 6'3", 251 pounds. He ran a 4.69 with 16 bench reps and a 36.5 vertical. That's what I know about him.
This a lineman?
He's more.
Who are you talking about?
Darrell Johnson,
defensive end.
He mentioned Darrell Johnson. He's more of an edge.
Yeah,
yeah.
Still, that's good numbers.
Yeah,
Jeez.
And they still have Dakota Shepley as a guard on the practice squad. What about Adam Pankey? Gosh, he's in his fourth year from West Virginia.
That's a hell of a life. Just 4 years on the practice squad.
And they've elevated Carl Davis the last two seasons,
gig.
and I don't know that he did much to suggest he needs another elevation. McCarthy also said he thought Hankins would do a little something today. So that's encouraging.
Okay.
What are you smiling about?
I've got something about Adam Pankey, but I'm not going to say it because anyway. All right, we're going to move on.
Is it good or bad, Bill?
It had to do with the newlywed game, but y'all figure that out, and we'll be back with more Mick Shots in just a moment.
Wow, that was fast.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Did you know that responding to one spam call can lead to more? Or that the IRS would never ask for your social security number on the phone? Beat scammers at their own game by subscribing to AARP Fraud Watch Network alerts and texts. At aarp.org/beatscammerstx, you can sign up to receive information that helps you recognize and avoid the latest scams. That's aarp.org/beatscammerstx.
Back to Mick Shots.
K Post Roofing and Waterproofing, the official roofer of the Dallas Cowboys. Guys, yesterday Everson was talking about Hutchinson. And we were thinking about a couple different people there. But to bring it all back, we had some responses on Twitter about that. And someone said, I don't care how much of a good player Hutchinson's is. This is an obvious attempt twice at taking Dak out. And so they had also posted a couple plays where Hutchinson's coming at Dak, taking him down by the hips at one point, and then also taking him down on another play at the shoulders, and it was kind of a big drop back. So at what point do we talk about Dak's safety as far as some of these tackles go?
Or would you like to talk about Aiden Hutchinson?
Yeah, we
and the
want to talk
hip drop tackle.
Yeah, that's what it was. Clearly that. I mean, Dak's big, but Hutchinson's strong. He didn't have to do it the way he did it.
I mean, that's what they were trying to eliminate, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what they're trying to eliminate because people are dragging him down and breaking a lot of ankles. Well, he was trying to. I don't know about what he was trying to do because I don't want to talk about his intent. But clearly, he was. You could see that he was doing the drop style tackle, grabbing him up top and trying to drop down on him with all of his weight.
With his legs almost wrapped around him, right?
Correct. And when you think about that, and then you look at the tripping call.
That was outrageous.
Yeah. Well, not just the fact they missed it, but the fact that he actually tried to kick his leg out there. And
then he got called for tripping.
Yeah, but his intent was to throw out there, and I don't know. I guess you could make a tackle by tripping somebody.
It's illegal.
You can't do that either.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's
and that cost them a potential touchdown. By the way.
And when you start doing things like that, that's a pattern. That was 3 plays in one game. To me, that's a pattern. And the guys, I talked about how good he is. It's not necessary for him to do that. And I got so caught up in the plays that he made, I meant to bring that up yesterday because I saw it earlier. Mm-hmm. And when this guy, whoever he was, I wish I could remember who sent the post, but he was right. The first time was bad, but the second time was worse. And so do they call it? Do they call it? I mean,
yeah.
Do they call that?
They're supposed to, I thought. Didn't they make that rule? Or they talked about making it?
And do the coaches know anything about this?
But the tripping part, they know.
Yeah. But do the coaches know? Have the coaches really looked at those 2 sacks that he had?
Oh, I'm sure they. I would be surprised.
Now they haven't done anything on the hip drop tackle as far as the competition committee. That is something to look at. And of course, that was the Tony Pollard injury in the playoff game in San Francisco too. And
so the hip drop is different from the ankle drop or something? What are we talking about here?
No, it was the
same motion to me.
It is, yeah. Right. No, and it's the hip drop of the tackler dropping his hip on top of a player, and whether it's
intentional.
And so that's something that I'm sure the competition committee will be looking at in the offseason. And
I'm just surprised it wasn't mentioned at all after the game. I know a lot of controversy in the game. Mm-hmm. I'm just surprised that wasn't even talked about. I'm sure the coaches saw it. I'm sure they see that. I'm sure Dak felt it.
Just like the tripping penalty was bogus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the fact that he tried to trip someone, that's where you see what I'm saying? That to me, that adds to what he was doing that game. And you can get a rep like that. We up here, see a guy like Greenlaw. We kind of look at him in that manner. And he's really been criticized a lot on how he plays sometimes. So, just because this guy's a good player, that doesn't mean he can't be criticized.
In fact, it was Clarence Yee on Twitter who posted that caught your attention. Mm-hmm. And he said, Everson, I don't care how much of a good player Hutchinson is, he's as dirty as Conrad Dobler. This is an obvious attempt twice.
Now you got to look up Conrad Dobler, Savannah.
Adding it to the list.
That is not a compliment at all.
So
and it makes sense because that's how players get reps, because of reputations like that, because of those plays. And I don't recall Michael Parsons when he gets to a quarterback doing something like that. And I'm sure the way he's been held 4, 5, 6 times a game, that he wants to do that when he gets to a quarterback just out of frustration. But for Hutchinson to get away with that, like I said, I don't know if it's illegal or not, Bill. I don't know what the rule is on that. But it was clear that if Dak wasn't so strong, he would not have finished that game.
Right.
It's sometimes amazing to me what they don't see. It's like, well, you're looking right at it. That's why maybe it was somewhat of a miracle that they recognized that number 68 wasn't eligible when he caught the 2-point conversion, right? It's like, oh, no, he's not supposed to do that. Good.
If we play these guys again, I'm sure this is something that they will talk about.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because it's a possibility that we will.
Well, just announce your guys eligible.
No, forget that crap. I'm talking about.
Oh, you meant the drop.
The drop.
The drop is I just think is very dangerous. You're talking about a guy who already has his ankle broken, and now he already has his ankle broken, and now you're trying to do this. That's Dobler type. Tackling.
I was told after the San Francisco game that if they have to play him again, watch out. Because the Cowboys accepted a bunch of crap from San Francisco that didn't get called. A lot of punches that nobody called. And it could be an MMA fight. Better watch out.
It already was.
But you got to get there first, right?
The fight was
Speaking of Dak.
Yes.
I noticed a viewer or listener, whatever, on Twitter, on X, Cody Wins 25 asked, does Dak deserve more MVP consideration? He has better stats than Lamar Jackson. Can't figure out why Lamar is such a heavy favorite.
Well, number one, they don't lose.
They went to San Francisco and blew out the Niners, and they blew out the Dolphins.
And somehow we have starting to romanticize the running quarterback. And a lot of his effectiveness, obviously, is running.
Yeah.
And, and
it's pretty amazing.
Right? And it was, look at college football, the same thing with LSU quarterback Jaden Daniels, who wins the Heisman. After I saw Michael Penix play,
oh my God,
he's the first pick in the draft.
He's putting in some tight throws.
Right?
Those guys.
He's very adamant about this.
Those guys weren't wide open, Spags.
No,
they were not wide open.
He was throwing them open.
They were right. I mean, the guys. That was amazing performance.
So, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Daniels' best thing he did was run the ball. Now he did improve his throwing, but I'll be surprised if he's a top 10 pick in the NFL.
Did you guys see the post-game interview with Lamar Jackson after they beat Miami this last weekend?
I believe I did.
It was actually pretty funny. You win the game. They're doing the interview with Lamar, and he is just stone cold, no smile, just serious. We came out here, we got the win. That's it. Like that's done. And the reporter said to him after the game, "Can I get a smile before we get off camera?" And he finally gave one smile. But I mean, the guy's locked in.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson is locked in.
I like his game, and it's just a matter of what you like. I mean, do you want that diversity and as far as being able to run the ball, or do you like what Dak is doing just from a simplistic standpoint? He's got this offense down. Period. The moves that he's made are extremely instinctive, and that's when you're comfortable, when you can have instincts in play. I love the way that he only scrambles when he has to, and he scrambles to throw a lot more than Lamar does. One thing about Lamar, he doesn't have a whole bunch of receivers that he can depend on either. But I must say this as well. He throws some good passes, but damn, they were wide open. Everybody was wide open. I mean, why don't we get busted plays like that? We had
you got one.
We had one, which was an amazing one. That was a big one. But if I look at the plays that they made, the rookie was wide open for Baltimore several times down the field, broken coverage. This guy fell down against CeeDee. The coverage wasn't broken.
Yeah.
This is broken coverage every time on Lamar. And those guys, whether it's the red zone or out in the field, the guys were wide open.
And, I don't know that anybody has a stat on this, but Dak's effectiveness when he scrambles to throw, you just mentioned it. I think he has created passing lanes. He has created routes or plays for the receivers to benefit from.
Something he was really not comfortable with previous years.
Or early in the season, he was trying to be perfect. He wanted everything 5-step drop, hit it, throw.
Right.
And if it wasn't open, he was still trying. And now it's he's moving around
improvising
like he saved the safety, right?
Yeah.
And throws a 92-yard touchdown pass.
His improvisation is spot on later on.
The other thing is he's got 8 interceptions, right? He had 3 in one game. So that means 5 interceptions in 15 games. It's pretty darn good.
That's pretty good.
Lamar Jackson has completed 67% of his passes for 3,678 yards, 7 picks, and 24 touchdowns. He has run for 821 yards, 5.5 yard average per carry, and 5 more touchdowns. So that is a total of 4,499 yards rushing and passing, and a total of 29 touchdowns. And Dak is at 32 touchdown passes. So
he should have had about 35 when you look at the Philly game, you look at this past game, and of course you look at your boy Hunter's game.
So Dak's
Hunter's game. You remember Hunter's game, don't you?
That wasn't a Dak touchdown, though. That was a Hunter touchdown.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That was still a Hunter's game.
and Dak has accumulated 4,479 total yards.
So Lamar has
Throwing
20 more yards, but fewer touchdowns.
That's right.
Than Dak.
And the same interceptions? What did you say? Is
7 interceptions for
Dak's
Jackson.
got
8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happens with that, by the way, is just, he lost 2 games, so he's not as good anymore. The Cowboys lose to Buffalo, lose to Miami, and that just takes you right out of the MVP talk.
And in the meantime, Lamar and the Ravens go to San Francisco and dominate them.
Right.
And then they dominate the Dolphins, too.
So I think that answers whoever.
I think he plays off his defense. I think our defense plays off of Dak. That's the difference to me.
And, oh, by the way,
very good.
When we come back, Tyreek Hill was in that MVP conversation. How about a little comparison now between CeeDee Lamb's numbers and Tyreek Hill's numbers when we come back here on Mick Shots?
Let me turn the page here.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Did you know that responding to one spam call can lead to more? Or that the IRS would never ask for your social security number on the phone? Beat scammers at their own game by subscribing to AARP Fraud Watch Network alerts and texts. At aarp.org/beatscammerstx, you can sign up to receive information that helps you recognize and avoid the latest scams. That's aarp.org/beatscammerstx.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Back to Mick Shots.
We continue with Mick Shots here. And by the way, from the practice field, where there are football players on a football field, on the side, Tyler Smith working with Director of Rehabilitation Britt Brown. And so
Britt will get him ready.
With a complete tear of his plantar fascia in his left foot, he is able to do the demanding rehab under the watchful eye of Britt Brown.
So, I mean, if you can work on those chords like that, that's a good step for, what's today? I've lost track. Wednesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he's got 3-4 more days.
Yep.
He has time.
See where he's at.
Yep, that was a play on words there from Mickey. Huge step. Okay, CeeDee Lamb versus Tyreek Hill. All right. It's been about a month or so, probably, since the Tyreek Hill MVP bandwagon, maybe 6 weeks or so. And then, of course, Tyreek got hurt in December, missed the game before the Cowboys game, and played the whole game against Miami. But you look at what CeeDee has done here, especially over the last half of the season, and has 8 straight games now with a touchdown, and leads the league with 122 receptions. I was just comparing CeeDee's numbers with MVP candidate Tyreek Hill's numbers. Tyreek Hill, 112 catches for 1,717 yards and 12 touchdowns. Okay? 6 carries, 15 yards. No touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb leads the league with 122 receptions for 1,651 yards and 10 touchdowns, and he's carried the ball 13 times for another 106 yards and 2 touchdowns, which gives CeeDee a total of 135 touches for 1,757 yards and 12 touchdowns. Tyreek has 118 touches for 1,732 yards and 12 touchdowns. So CeeDee actually has 25 more yards from scrimmage than Tyreek Hill does now, and the same number of touchdowns.
And that would make him number 2 in the NFL at this point, behind Christian McCaffrey,
who is an MVP candidate.
2,023 yards from scrimmage. Now, the other distinction for CeeDee Lamb, he's scored a touchdown in 8 consecutive games, the longest streak in the NFL, and he's the only Cowboys receiver to record a touchdown in 8 straight games, and is 3rd in the NFL receiver in the past 10 years to do so. Devontae Adams in 2020 and Antonio Brown in 2018. So
that's how
it's quite a streak he has been on since the... Did he get shut out in the San Francisco game, or just kind of held to minimal?
It was ugly.
Who, Lamb?
Yes.
4 for 49.
Yeah.
He had 5 targets.
Well, that's changed.
But if you remember, Mick, I believe after that game, that's when he had the sit-down conversation with McCarthy and everything changed.
Yeah, he kind of complained a little after the game.
Yeah,
in the true spirit of number 88.
And, no, not just that, but I remember I was criticizing him a lot because I don't think he was really playing up to that 88. And I guess he felt that the reason he wasn't was because he wasn't getting enough targets.
Yeah.
And he went in, he barked for more, and he got more. And they feed him as much as he wants. I get a little paranoid about it because I hate for us to just concentrate on one receiver so often because you want a diverse attack. But in the past, we've always been criticized by the media and even former players that we need a go-to guy to take it further into the playoffs. That's just the way it is. You need that go-to guy. And here we are. He's right where he wants to be, right where we want him to be. And as we go into the Commanders, do you think they're going to consider his numbers in this game, considering how weak the opponent is? That's something that, that's including Dak as well.
Do we
That's
think they
including
have
Dak
somebody
as well.
that can cover him? Because obviously, in this last game, the Lions must have thought that they had somebody that can cover him.
Well, Dan told somebody that they could, and he lied to them.
But CeeDee's been known this season. He's able to break away from those defenders and get down to where he's open.
He's always open.
And he not only that, but he also, when he catches the ball, he can break tackles. He does the spin move. He knows how to get down the field further.
Run after
catch.
That's why he's our go-to guy. And so once again, because no one can cover him with the Commanders, because we expect this offensive blowout, or at least a production offensively. Will that be a negative against the Cowboys because everyone is looking forward to the weak opponent?
By the way, Producer Supreme, do we have a breaking news sounder?
Dun, dun, dun.
Breaking news from Washington. Ron Rivera has announced that the starting quarterback against the Dallas Cowboys will be Sam Howell.
Of course it will.
Stay my beating heart.
That's breaking news. He just told reporters that.
Oh.
He was supposed to announce
I thought
that
we
today.
knew that.
No,
Yeah, was that
he was
not
going to
a-
announce.
Another guy.
He was keeping us in suspense until today.
Because the other
Jacoby
guy came
Brissett.
out.
Wow.
Yeah, Jacoby.
Isn't he hurt?
He was hurt, yeah, and maybe I guess he still is hurt, but he was keeping
there
us
was
in
no
suspense.
surprise.
Or his feelings are hurt? One of the two.
Well, Sam Howell, 3,793 passing yards, 20 passing touchdowns this season, and threw 2 interceptions against the 49ers.
I think he leads the league in interceptions.
He's like around 19, I think.
Let's find out.
Well, let me tell you here in a second. Just give me a moment here.
That's the number one stat right there.
Well, earlier when we played the Commanders, I remember bringing up the fact that Sam Howell likes to throw the ball. He's a passing quarterback, and I think at that time he was actually
He was hot.
top 3 in the league as
In
far
yards.
as in yards.
Yeah.
And, we knew he was going to throw some of those interceptions.
So
he's a
he's-
passing quarterback.
Well,
He's
once
got-
they got rid of the 2 defensive linemen, things got more desperate out there.
He has one more touchdown pass than interceptions. 20-19.
Did everybody say Jameis Winston?
He also
It's supposed to be a 2-to-1 ratio.
You know what? In his first NFL start,
Yes.
he had the same number of touchdown passes as interceptions. He had one of each. And, of course, that was against
the Dallas
Cowboys in
final game of the season.
Final game of the season last year, which was a 26-6 Washington win over a Cowboys team that was quarterbacked by Dak Prescott in that game.
Now, there was nothing on the line in that game, right?
Nah.
Because the Cowboys had already clinched.
We had lost to.
No, they had already. They were going to be
They
a wild
knew they
card
were going to be
team.
the 5 seed.
Yeah.
I thought for some reason, why the Titans game?
That was the
wrong
previous
year?
game
And we lost that one, didn't we?
with Joshua Dobbs at quarterback.
I think we won the.
Did we win it?
No,
I
they
think
won
we
that
won
game.
the Tennessee game, and that's what locked up the 5th seed, I believe.
See, because everybody keeps bringing up the Washington game from last year that they lost it, but they didn't have.
27-13.
I don't
was
think
the
they had
Tennessee
anything to gain.
I think we were just so disappointed because we wanted them to, show some type of continuity, and they didn't.
Coach McCarthy said earlier today in the press conference, expect the unexpected. He said that based on it's week 18 and the Commanders, he's thinking Ron's been aggressive in the past. It wouldn't surprise me if they're going for it more on 4th down. And
Ron's going to coach like it's his last game.
Because it is his last game.
I mean,
That's what's happening. He's going to coach just like that.
I mean,
And
if
the
you-
players are going to play like it's their last game,
game.
because for most of them it is their last game.
Why punt the ball on the 35-yard line and you got 4th and 5? You know,
There's going to be so many
Have some fun
tackle
with
eligible. Every tackle is going to be eligible this game.
they're going to bring in 2 tackles eligible.
That's a good one.
That's one thing I learned on this whole debacle of tackles. You can only have 1 tackle eligible.
You can't have 2?
Nope.
Huh.
Someone said it after the game. It was on ESPN. Whoever their expert former NFL official was after the game on Saturday night, he said that, you can have more than but you have to announce them.
Someone may want to say that to the Dan Campbell, because in his press conference he goes, "You can't have 2 people
right.
report as
and
eligible."
that's why they brought it up in the post game, because Dan Campbell said you can only have 1, and this official said no, you can have multiple.
Okay, there you go.
But I don't know.
So
Maybe I'll just learn something there.
and even at that, do you think they didn't hear that the official announced 70 was eligible?
I don't think they heard it.
I don't either.
I think it.
I heard
a lot of noise down there.
What was the timing of it?
Were you in the end zone?
When did
I was in the press box.
Yeah,
Yes.
but in
When
the end zone,
they
though.
But we don't
said
get
70 was eligible,
Yeah,
yeah.
because we don't get the sound. It just comes over.
Did you have a headset on?
No.
My thing is,
but the coaches, a lot of the coaches anyway, have headsets on, and
he's asking, did the players hear?
Players are in the huddle. They're hearing the play call.
Right. Okay. Because I'm thinking,
so
it's
a loud
90,000
stadium.
people.
Well, they were out.
So you're in a quiet
zone.
press box that has a microphone.
It's not that quiet.
Well, but you're in a press box that has a microphone.
I can hear the crowd, and I could hear him.
You can't hear the crowd like they can hear it on the 5-yard line.
That's what I was going to say.
Well,
which is why the official couldn't hear 68 when he said he was eligible.
That I don't know. I don't go.
I was going to say, if I'm the coach, I'm calling timeout, but they were out of timeouts, right?
I'm not sure what the timeout.
They just need to do what the Arena Football League used to do. Remember that, Mick? When you break the huddle, if you didn't have an eligible number, you have to raise your hand. If you're the tight end.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's
all they
letting them know.
Raise your hand. I'm the tight end. Just let everybody.
But
know.
that takes
Coach
deception
Campbell does
out.
not. Yeah, Coach Campbell does not want that.
And don't put 68 and 58 out there together.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have similar
one
numbers. Your tackles can't have similar numbers.
That was definitely by design.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
No, by design.
See, I think the Lions thought that it'll get announced as 68. It'll get announced correctly, but we're lining up 68 and 58 on the end of the line, and they're going to get confused. They're going to have to cover both of them because they didn't hear it. Somebody didn't hear it right.
Well, the official goes to the defense and tells them.
Right.
And that's what he did.
It's not just the announcement.
But they have to be able to hear that he says 58 or 68 in
And
did
so
he say
once
68
again,
or did he say
goes
58?
to the defense.
He said 70.
Yeah, but if they said it, if he did it,
and the only like
They
you
would have
said, he
covered
only
him.
says to the defense, so the offense probably wouldn't even hear what he said.
Right.
He went to the defense, but the offense maybe.
So the only way the offense is hearing
it's 68, not 70.
Well, and meantime, the play clock is going down, and so at the same time.
But the referee said there's no rush for a 2-point conversion. So he doesn't know why the referee was in such a hurry to back away and make the call.
You just love to know.
Probably because there's 3 offensive linemen screaming at him.
You'd love to know what the conversation was. Because everybody's going to cover their own butt, right?
Mm-hmm. He is covering
the
his
offensive line. You never saw the offensive lineman do this, right? Never. So
it was cute, but it didn't work.
So there's a reason.
They need to take
which, by the way,
classes.
There's a reason why the NFL sent out a letter to the teams telling them when you're bringing in an eligible tackle, make sure it's demonstrative and make sure it's announced
on the
correctly.
player to
it's on
get
him.
And which is the way it should be.
I gotta say, guys, I think the player did his job.
Well, he sure didn't sound like it after the game.
He didn't do his job because it didn't get communicated.
Why can't that be the referee's fault?
Well, if I told you 68 and I go, well, no, I'm going to do 70.
But I'm just saying.
It's both of them. It's the player and the refs.
Thank you, Savannah.
It's both of them.
Mm-hmm.
They just didn't send out a letter yesterday. They sent out the video of the whole situation. Did you see that, Mick?
No, I knew the letter came
I just
out.
texted it to you. So
Mickey, if you call in sick for work, okay, how do you communicate that?
Well, I never call in sick.
Well, let's
hypothetically
work with
just
me here.
Work with them, please.
We're running out of time.
I will tell somebody.
You'll tell somebody, and will you wait to hear for a response from that someone to make sure that they got it, the message?
Yes.
That's communication.
Okay.
See, that's an example of communication.
No,
it's
I
the
would
acknowledgement
just be like, I told
on the
him
other
I'm
end.
sick and I'm hanging up the phone.
That's it.
Everson's just leaving a message.
Right, man. Come on.
All right, that does it for a scintillating edition of Mick Shots, and we might be back here tomorrow at noon as we take a further look at these Washington Commanders.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this,